everybody, this is Michelle Fox and welcome back to The Simple Quilter and welcome back to Quick Tip Friday. Today I'm going to be giving you some tips for quilting on the go. Tip number one is plan ahead. You really do need to do some planning several days before your trip where you're going to be quilting on the go. So one of the first things I think about is how much space I'm going to have wherever I'm going to quilt. For example, if I'm going in my camper, I'm most likely not going to take a quilt to put the binding on simply because my space is more limited. So the trip I'm planning for coming up is a camping trip. One of my personal quilt retreats. And these are some of the projects I'm going to take. I'm going to take one of the checkerboard boards that I finished. I'll be sure to baste that before we leave. And I'm going to do this one. And I'll machine quilt these while I'm gone. And I will be sure to get both of those basted, spray basted before I leave. Another small project I'm going to take are these mug rugs. I did a video on these. You can check that out above. And they're just small and I have all the pieces cut and they're ready to go. I really just need to put them in a container. So do plan ahead for the space you're going to be. So you do need to do a little bit of planning. Now if I'm going to a quilt retreat where there's going to be where you have your own table, I might take a quilt to put the binding on, but if I have to share a table with 2 or 3 other people, or even one other person, I'm likely not to take that for a project, simply because there's not enough room. The next tip is to be sure to pre-cut all of your fabric. For example, in our camper, I have a place to put an ironing board and a place to put my sewing machine. But I don't really have a space to do lots of cutting. So I'm careful to be sure all of my fabric is pre-cut. The same thing goes at a quilt retreat. I don't want to spend all of my time cutting my fabric. Plus, you have to share those cutting tables with 35 to 50 other people. So I really do try to pre-cut all of my fabrics before I go. Tip number 3 is to double check your on-the-go quilt bag. This is my on-the-go quilt bag. I've done a video on what I keep in here. This is kind of ready all the time to go for on-the-go quilting. And I'll put a link in the description below if you want to check out this video that shows exactly what's in there. I do take a few minutes just to double check to make sure I haven't taken anything out of this bag. Tip number 4 is to take a hand sewing project just in case your sewing machine craters or something happens or you forgot your power cord. I always take a small hand project so that I can do that just in case I can't use my sewing machine. Tip number 5 is to get online and check to see if there are any quilt shops on your traveling route, just so you won't miss any shopping opportunities. If you have a tip for on-the-go quilting that you'd like to share, please put that in the comments below. If you've enjoyed today's video, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Please share with a friend. And as always, leave a comment. I love to get the comments and I try to reply to each and every one. So until next time, have fun quilting.